And welcome back to the Press Star Podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. This is episode number 72. And of course, I'm joined by my co host, Lunatic Oblivion.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's we just had the Game Awards on Thursday here. We've got Christmas right around the corner, Hanukkah next week. The year is almost over, dude. Where is it gone? What has happened with 2022? So, Vic, here we have a special guest this week. You want to introduce him?
Yeah, man. So we are welcoming back Scott, aka Scoby1. Everyone remember him from our last episode. Welcome back, Scoby1.
Glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, man. Let's talk about our games that we've been playing this week here. So let's start off here. Scott, what have you been playing over the past week since I last talked to you?
So still same old. Doing the Warzone 2, the Modern Warfare 2, and then during some weekday downtime, I'll be hitting up something just kind of relaxing solo like Skyrim again, delving back into that. So
Gotcha. Haven't decided to check out any new single player games or anything, have you?
I have not yet, but I did see the Valheim patch and kind of want to see about that again.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
So
super fun. I've actually been playing it with a bunch of the people from my community. We just started up. I've never made it past anywhere where I'd be in the new expansion, but I'm excited to finally maybe get there for once.
oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't played Valheim in a very long time. But Roger, how has it been so far with the new patch? Have you checked
I
out
feel like
Mistlands?
they've balanced a lot of stuff, which is super helpful, I think. The game had an issue, I think, where sometimes it just felt tough to kill some of the enemies. Like it took a while, and now I feel like better about it. Like I walked into a dungeon, I'm like actually parrying skeletons, and it feels good to play. And then we were playing with the Marshmallow today on Grounded, and he's over here like, man, I'm the parry king now because of Valheim. And I was like, I feel it, dude.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah, Grounded was a lot of fun today, honestly. Underwater, it's actually one of my biggest fears in real life is being in water and worrying about things that are bigger than me like that, or just not knowing what's around you. And I'm like, hey, Roger, the koi fish is right behind us. He's like, oh shit, and
Yeah,
like I saved your
yeah,
life.
dude, that shit is so fucking scary, dude. That koi fish, you just hear, and you're like, oh god, it's sucking me in.
Uh,
And you're dead. That's it. You don't get a second chance. You just instantly die, and you're like, guess I'm walking back again.
yeah.
That's it. I'll see you all in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Walk my
Oh my
happy
god.
ass
That's yeah.
back.
Honestly, that's what it seems like for sure. So overall, that's been a lot of fun. But Roger, I see you. Obviously, you finished up your stream today with As Dusk Falls. Without spoiling the game, because I know I want to play it. What was your overall impressions from that game?
Oh, dude, it ended on a not so happy note, and it was really well done. Like the fact the game was kind of separated into two acts maybe didn't need to be, but the six chapters, every one of them felt rewarding and fulfilling, and I liked the story. I don't know if I liked completely how they tied up the ending, but they left it open. So whether or not they wanted to continue the As Dusk Falls franchise into another story, they could, or they could just leave it as is. I thought it was an amazing game. I thought the experience was awesome because I can partake in playing the game with my chat. So today I had a few people come and go, and they would join in and vote for a little bit. And then it was just mostly me and Disney the whole time we were playing through it. And honestly, this game had me gripped. I played 8 hours of it, and I didn't feel like the 8 hours just happened. It felt just good, and like watching an 8 hour long movie would be horrendous, but I actually liked it.
That's definitely pretty dope, and I'm glad that it's. I think it'll be on Game Pass for a while, so I'm really looking forward to playing it. Scott, have you ever heard of this game out at all?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so basically
No.
it's kind of like a visual novel that's like a stop action drawn like kind of artistic style, and it's
Okay,
kind of like
cool.
a story driven. You like your decisions matter, and like you can kind of choose like who's going to live, who's going to die, what they do and whatnot, and like it has Twitch integration. So basically like your Twitch chat can choose what happens, and then you have the ability to override their decision, but you're limited on that amount of options that you can do that as well.
Three
So
times.
That's sick.
so the story could be completely different for anybody who plays the game. So
And what's really nice is it takes into account all the decisions you've ever made. So like I made decisions, in chapter 2 people will die depending on your decisions as well. Like they will kill off whole characters. Somebody got shot in the fucking face, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're actually fucking dead because of a decision I made." And so that decision then continues to influence every other decision that comes afterwards, because the whole game is essentially two families that kind of have a history together where they meet up in this sort of the first act of the game. A giant crime scene or a giant crime happens, and the two families are thrust together in a sort of uh feud moment, and so a lot of things happen. Then the second act is about sort of resolving the repercussions of the event.
Sick.
Yeah, it's
That's
definitely
awesome.
dope.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
For sure.
Indeed. Vic, I see you've been playing a bunch of COD still here, and you also had a tournament this week. So
Uh,
you want to tell me about what you've been doing with some of your games?
yeah, so obviously the Modern Warfare 2 grind that will never stop. Putting in a lot of work with the team and whatnot. We're building a more of a foundation, and we're setting up scrimmages with other community members and their teams and whatnot, so we can start getting that competitive CDO grind together. But yeah, we had like a tournament kind of, but it wasn't for Call of Duty. Surprisingly, with Shoot to Win, we had a sponsored stream for Fall Guys. We have a partnership with Mesh Media, which is kind of like YouTube, where you can publish your content, your videos, and whatnot, and you get paid per view, because it is a subscription-based platform. So it's $10 a month, but each time you view someone's video, your portion of your $10 goes towards that person's video. So it's pretty nice. But the sponsor stream was for Shoot to Win, so we were giving away 2,000 Mesh points, which is what the money currency is on Mesh Media that you earn. So we had two winners that were all you had to do was type in meshed in the chat on Twitch, and you were entered in, and we randomly drew it and stuff like that. But we had a bunch of us. There was like 20 of us playing on stream, and it was just a lot of fun. It was a good way to get the community together and rolling, and we're looking forward to doing much more events like that. But overall, it was fun.
Awesome.
When was the last time you guys played Fall Guys?
Season one.
Yeah, season when it dropped for a few days, and then that was about it.
You
Yeah.
know, when I needed something to do during COVID.
Nah, yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun, especially with their most recent update. It's like all like underwater themes, so like SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward are all in there, and they recently had like the Sonic crossover event, so they have tons of levels and whatnot. Obviously, they have the level editor
Mhm.
as well. So overall, it's been definitely a lot of fun. Roger, here I see another game on the list here that you also recently completed, Slay Aspire. How did that go?
So this is a game I've been playing for a while. Like the past year, I kind of pick it up and put it down. And turns out there's, after you beat the game two or three times, there's an actual ending to the game where you have to collect a bunch of these little pieces and then fight a final boss. And every time I get close to the final boss, I just get wrecked. Uh, I actually beat it this week, first try, and I was like, "Whoa, this is nice." And so I was able to finally cross that game off my list. But it is definitely a classic, amazing roguelike from 2017. It's a deck building game where you sort of you collect artifacts that augment your play. You have four different characters who dictate what your core mechanics of your character are and your starting deck. And you just build a deck as you go through the levels. And the idea is to slay the actual heart of the spire, which is a literal beating heart.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I don't know if I'll ever check that game out, but I think that's also on Game Pass if I'm not mistaken,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah, so
That
that.
was that's the only reason I played it actually. My friend Jeff Slugs plays it a lot in my community, and him and I will share roguelikes and different procedural generated games to play with one another, and this is one of the ones that he really likes. I picked it up, had a bunch of trouble, but he's beaten it over and over and over again throughout the years.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. And another one here that you recently beat was Pokemon. You finally got through that. How was that experience?
That was also pretty good. So I kind of went on a rant with the Pokemon game, and I'll do it again here for a minute, but I think this is the Pokemon game that we've always been asking for. This is that free roam, that ultimate experience as a Pokemon game where you can see the Pokemon in front of you. You can walk up and a battle starts, and it's not like your screen cuts to black, just like every time we tried to play
Yeah,
fucking
Jesus.
Dying Light 2 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it just everything is rendered right there does make the game a little slow. Yes, my biggest complaint is the graphics are bad. Like the world itself looks horrible. Breath of the Wild looks great compared to it, and it's years and years older. And it played on the Wii U. Okay, like not even the Switch, the Wii U played that better. And so I think there's a lot of issues with this, but I think they did a wonderful job on the story. The Pokemon design are good. The actual battles feel good. Like you get to the end of the game and people are like, "There's really no six Pokemon trainer battles." That's a lie, and that is a big lie because like at the end of the game, there's at least 5 or 6 fights where you're fighting trainers who have literally 6 Pokemon. All the Elite Four has a full team. The Elite Four champion, the champion after the champion. Like it actually feels good and it entices you to build a team that actually feels robust. And also the new mechanic they introduced with every Pokemon game feels good for once. It allows you to it's called Terra stylize or Terra stylize. What happens is your Pokemon changes its attribute to whatever Terra type it is. And in this case, you could have a Pikachu that actually becomes a fighting type Pokemon.
That's
Or
interesting.
you could have Dragonair who becomes ice instead of dragon. So now you're fighting a fairy type, and all of a sudden you ice form, and now you just kill the fucking fairy type with your ice moves on Dragonair. So it actually really changes up the whole play style of Pokemon because you're like, oh, I know what a Dragonair is. I'll throw out my fucking, I'll throw out a Mew. You throw out your Mew, and then all of a sudden his Dragonite turns into an ice type, and you're like, I guess I'll die. Like, you think you're gonna win a fight, and then it completely shifts. So, and I think that's cool. And also, this Pokemon game introduces co-op play. The fact that you can just load in with up to 3 of your friends, so 4 people total, and you can watch each other fight your Pokemon battles right in front of you, out in the open. You can walk around the whole world together. The whole game is co-op now.
Yeah, which is a really unique experience. Honestly, we weren't sure how
Like,
that was going to play out.
exactly. And I was like, they say it's co-op, but what do they mean by co-op? Because so many people are like, it's co-op. And it's just like, oh, you get the feed of what your friends are doing. Co-op.
Right.
No, no, this is legit. Like you jump into a world and you run around together. Oh, hey, I found this or I found this. Hey, look, you have a shiny Garchomp in front of you. Grab it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
pretty dope.
I think it was actually honestly one of the coolest features I've seen in a Pokemon game, and it's honestly what we want to see out of Pokemon. I just hope that the fan blowback on this doesn't cause them to reinvent the wheel once again.
Right. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, hopefully the next game is this, but with an amazing graphics.
Yeah, for sure. Um, but a little bit about my list here. I played actually a bunch of games this week for once.
Yeah, you have more games than I do.
I did finally finish up Plague Tale Requiem, and boy, that ending was heartbreaking. I'm not going to spoil anything here on the stream, but Jesus,
It
that was
was
heartbreaking.
definitely different.
Yeah,
Like
I was not
it went
expecting that.
from yeah, it turned it up to an 11. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so and obviously with the post credit scene, it's leading to either post like DLC or the next iteration of the game or however that's going to play out. So I'm really looking forward to how that goes. But I did start my next single player game in that being Somerville, and that has been a lot of fun, honestly. And it's been like puzzling and challenging at time, but it's clearly reminiscent of Inside, the game called Inside. Obviously, different developers or different company, but it's made by ex developers of the same game. So a lot of those like signature ideas and whatnot are definitely reminiscent there, and I'm really looking forward to beating it. Hopefully tomorrow is my goal, so definitely come check out my stream. Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to stream it because we got our competitive stream tomorrow at 6, so we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
whatever we're gonna
I mean
play,
I have off tomorrow, so I might be able to stream it during the day. But
You have off tomorrow.
yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
now I start my new job on Tuesday, so we'll see how
There
that
you
goes.
go. There you go.
So that's some good news there.
You got your
Uh,
one last day of freedom, is what we're hearing. There it
yeah,
is.
yeah. There you go.
There it is.
And I did pick up one of their most recent releases that released on the second, so about 9 days ago, and that was Need for Speed Unbound. So this one has been pretty interesting, honestly. Um, it's very arcadey, and I know why now that I looked into it. It's made by Criterion, which is the people who made like the Burnout franchise. So they have like their formula implemented into a Need for Speed game. But overall, like it's still a beautiful looking game with that new aesthetic,
Mhm.
like the hyper realism, but it has like the anime styled characters and like effects that happen, kind of like a comic book in a way. So overall, so far the story actually has set it up to be like a redemption revenge story. So I'm just like, okay, I'm invested right
A
now.
traditional Need for Speed story.
Yeah, so I was just like, it makes sense. It has like a lot of callbacks to the OG Need for Speed like Underground series, so that it really feels like that. And I'm just really curious to see how it is. I'm playing the 10-hour trial that you get with EA Play. That's part of the Game Pass Ultimate subscription. So once that
Before you
runs
buy
out,
it.
yeah. So once that runs out, I'll make that decision if I want to purchase it or not, or just wait until it just goes on sale for a really decent price. But overall, it's been a fun game. It's definitely something way different than playing like Forza Horizon 5.
But is it worth the $67 price tag?
No, definitely not.
There
It's going to be
you go.
hard, man. Like having Game Pass now is going to be really hard to justify a $60 or $70 price tag anymore for a game. I just don't see
Yeah,
it.
and
That
honestly,
that's fair. Yeah.
and with Game Pass gonna have family plans soon, outside of just Ireland and what, Malaysia or
Yeah, so
something.
some random countries. Yes, that's going to
I'm
be
gonna
great.
finally bring it over to the West for once.
But Roger, we did check out Dark Tide as well. How has that been playing for you? How what's your impression so far?
I don't know. Like, I think it's a good game, but I think I'm gonna get burnt out pretty fast. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to end game as fast as thought I would. Because, like, you don't always get a full level every time you complete a mission, and I'm just like, I don't know if I really want to keep grinding out. Because, like, playing with randos can be really challenging at times. Like,
Yeah,
people really aren't on the same page, and
yeah, we're moving at a
so
much faster pace than what they are, and you're like, come on, dude, hurry up. But we
yeah.
do get some cool ones where
Or
like,
other times, like, yeah.
because wait, when you disconnected, we were trying to like let him know that you got disconnected. We're trying to get you back into the game so you can still get credit because we were about to finish the level, and he was like, all right, cool. Like
Yeah,
no,
dude,
no big
I
deal.
hopped back in. I was like, thanks so much, man. He's like, no problem, man. Have a good one. And I was like, damn, finding an actual nice person in an online multiplayer game?
They do
It's rare.
exist.
It's rare.
It's rare.
That's when you do a quick ad
It's the
friend.
unicorn, It's the fucking unicorn of gaming.
Oh yeah.
And
All right, guys.
yeah, I think
What
that's
else we got here on the list? That
just
it?
actually just one real quick. I played a couple shooters. Obviously, I played some Overwatch 2 and hopped into Battlefield 2042, and that's just been typical fun. They added Rush and TDM to that, so that's been like classic Battlefield kind of feeling. And I was like kind of grinding towards working on unlocking a new gun because you have to get like a certain amount of kills with one gun to get the other gun. So I was like, that's cool. But Fortnite, bro, I hopped into Fortnite the other after my
Yeah, I
Fall
saw that
Guys.
on your list.
I hopped in after the Fall Guys sponsor thing because my boy Mike, who I used to play Fortnite with all the time, hit me up. He was like, "Bro, you on Fortnite?" And I was like, "Nah, I just got off Fall Guys because they share the same like login information, like it's the Epic account." So he thought I
Yeah.
was on, and I was like, "No," but I was like, "Let me see if I'm going to play Call of Duty with the guys. If not, I'll reinstall Fortnite and play with you."
That shit looks so good, dude. I
And
just saw it on Reddit a bunch this week, and they were like, "Look at this fucking glow up," and I was like, "Holy shit, dude!
yeah, Fortnite
It's
Chapter
unreal."
4 is insane. They did
Gotta
transition
look.
to Unreal Engine 5.1, so it's like the most
Oh, okay.
up to date
It
Unreal
looks,
Engine. Oh, dude, it's
dude
insane.
looks like he's about to go
And
postal IRL in that game. I'm like,
it,
this shit looks real.
so we're playing quads, no build, so there's no build, and we're gonna worry about the fucking sweats in that game. So now
Yeah,
it's a strictly gunplay, and I'm calling it. I'm like, guys, first game back. I haven't played in 200. It tells you when the last time you played. I haven't played in 287 days. First game back, we're catching a dub. We hop in. We catch a fucking dub. I was like, let's fucking go, boys. First game back. And then
there you
snapping up
go.
next game where I'm like, all right, I called it the first one. We're going back to back. We catch a back to back dub in Fortnite. I was like, let's fucking go, man. Like this shit's crazy. And that was
Yeah.
all the wins we had for the night. And we played a couple more, and then I hopped off. But overall, man, it was
Uh,
just like Fortnite's one
it
of those
looks
games I
good.
can't invest a ton of time into, but it's a game that you can pick up and don't have to worry about that skill gap of like,
Hmm.
damn, I haven't played in so long. Like Apex. Apex, you have to play for a while to get good at
Oh
that
yeah.
game. Or Valorant. Valorant, you have to play for a while to get good at that game. Fortnite, no, that's a game you just just hop in, you just play. It plays just like any other shooter.
It does look
Mhm.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
so
that
good.
does. See, I've never been a Fortnite player. I've never got on Fortnite. Never it was never one of
I
my
played a
things. I
few
couldn't.
games,
Um,
and
I, yeah, I think I played like you
yeah,
maybe 2 or 3 games, and it
I
was just
shot a
all
guy
the build
once, and
sweats.
he just built a fortress, and I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the build the
let
build
me just
sweats,
get the
man.
fuck out of here.
Yeah, it could, yeah, exactly, complete turn off. But it does look good. It looks real good.
yeah. That's why I enjoy
Uh,
playing the no build mode. So there's no, you can't build or anything. So
I'm
yeah.
glad they kept that around permanently, actually. And like these kids, you turn on no build mode, and they're like, "How do I play, mom?"
all you know how to do is break
Mom.
my controller and or keyboard and
Yeah.
mouse and build this skyscraper. I'm like, nah, not in this game mode. But
Dude.
yeah, man, that's all of
Here,
our
one last
games.
thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Overwatch 2. Just wanted to talk about it real quick. New patch just dropped, actually. Season 2 dropped on Overwatch, so they made a bunch of changes. You know, now we have controller support for aim assist in casual. And honestly, it may feel good to you, but like, holy shit, the casual experience is so fucking sweaty now. Holy shit,
That's
dude.
because you guys were
Casual.
yeah, you guys were curb
Yeah.
stomping all of the console players because you had this
No, like
massive
even just playing
advantage.
with fucking. And the thing is, like, we can't. If you're on console, you can set it to only play with console players. If you're on PC, you can only play with everyone. You cannot decide to not play with console
Only
players.
crossover. Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn, this auto assist is really stupid. Like, you can watch people on the kill cam, and you're like, dude has the aim assist on the controllers is ridiculous on
Yeah,
Overwatch.
I killed one
It
dude
They'll
locks.
nerf
by
it.
accident like
They'll
that.
nerf it. Get your wins in now till they nerf it,
Yeah.
because it's gonna happen.
And I was like, no wonder they're like not putting this on competitive because that fucking aim assist is like adding actual aim hacks. I was like, this shit locks, dude.
Yeah,
He straight
but
got aimbot.
yeah, playing without it though, it's almost fucking impossible.
It really is. I just watched it and I was like, it's a night and day difference. But like, this is a PC shooter. Like,
Yeah.
holy.
But yeah, man, that's all of our games that we played this week, for sure. But let's talk about the upcoming releases. They're actually pretty, a couple solid ones here. So Roger, what's going on this week?
All right, so we got Wavetail. This comes out for all consoles, including PC and Switch. That comes out on the 12th. We've got Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. That comes out on all systems, including not PlayStation. It's all systems: XNS, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. We're getting Gris. Gris is a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S only game that comes out on the 13th as well. We've got High on Life, the weekly's big hit. This game looks amazing. It does come out on all Windows platforms, all Microsoft platforms, so that's the XS, One, and PC. We've got Neon White finally hitting the PlayStation platform. We've got Little Gator Game coming to Switch and PC. We've got The Witcher 3. We've got the final update to The Witcher 3 before we start seeing some new stuff out of CD Projekt Red. This is the complete edition. This is the Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC next gen update with the full catalog and all the updates and everything. This shit looks so good. And also it has a lot of changes to make the game a lot better for new players. People like yourself, Vic, who are like, wow, there's too much to do. I'm done. Click
Yep,
and turns off the game.
you got it.
We've
Oh
got
yeah, sensory overload.
oh yeah, you load and then you're like, that's too many question marks. I'm done. Like me,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there drawing a path through the game and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, there's too much to do. And then you hit the wrong thing and you're like, wow, that's 12 levels ahead of me. No thanks. We got 3 more games here. We've got Aka for the Switch and PC on December 15th. We've got Blacktail, which comes out for the next-gen consoles and PC on December 15th. And then we've got Resident Evil 7 Biohazard finally hitting the Switch for their cloud play. All right, let's see here, Scott. What would you be playing out of this? Anything interest you?
Here, Witcher 3. The next gen update's gonna be great. I'm gonna love that. I'm really kind of liking Blacktail.
Mhm.
I think that when if I picked this list and I went right into one or two of them, Witcher and Blacktail.
Interesting.
I think
Why
this.
Blacktail?
I I think the story behind it could be a little bit cool. It's kind of like medieval mystery
Hmm.
sort of deal going, and I think that'll be pretty cool. I'm a huge fan of like if you're looking at like medieval games or anything that's kind of past or like set in the past sort of thing. I think that's gonna be really. I think it's gonna be a good one. I think that'll
Yeah,
be
it
fun.
looks interesting. It's supposed to
Yeah,
have a morality system. It kind of reminds me of that whole Fable where,
that's exactly
your
what I
good and
felt.
bad
Yes.
system. You're
Yep.
a 16-year-old girl accused of witchcraft in a Slavic settlement, so like medieval Slavic, so you're kicked out of the, village trying not to die, so you have to craft shit. So looks interesting.
Yeah, I think the kind of survival. I definitely Fable feel for sure.
Yeah, I
And I
could see
think
that.
that's one of like my penultimate favorite games is the Fable
Mm.
series, especially the original one. I still play that from time to time too, just because I'm nostalgic, and I think that that's gonna be a pretty cool concept on that.
How about you, Vic? Anything looking good on the list for you?
Hell yeah. I mean, High on Life, baby. I'm really looking forward
That
to that
shit looks
game.
so
I
good.
mean, as soon as it was announced, like, at, was it the Xbox showcase in the summertime, and we were like, bro, what the fuck is this? We're like, no way. And, like, the gun's talking to you. They're going off the walls. Like,
Knife's like, you
yeah.
gotta stab
It
me,
looks yeah,
shove me into them.
it
Yeah.
Like,
looks
what?
fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
Knife
looks like it's gonna be nutty.
Knifey was like, I'm gonna cut his butthole out and feed it to him or something like that. I was like, bro, this shit's wild.
What the
Um,
fuck, bro?
but yeah, definitely agree with The Witcher 3. I've never played it, so now that it'll be the complete edition where it's the full next gen update, it gives me a chance to play it. But I was telling Scott last week that I do want to play this after I play the remake of the first one, and obviously I'll have to check out the second one and then dive into this. So I got a lot of Witcher to play in my lifetime here. But other than that, man, it's
You're
pretty.
gonna miss out on the first one though, man. The first one is like a time capsule, dude.
It is. And I still have it, and every once in a while I'll go back and I'll do it, and it's just
I
like, man.
I actually just beat it. I think it was this year I ended up. It was one of my games I beat this year, actually.
Mm. I'm actually surprised you guys haven't talked about Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I heard that this was supposed to be doing really well, because it's already been in review hands, and I know this is supposed to be like a remake of a old game, if I'm not mistaken.
So this one is the HD remaster of the prequel to Final Fantasy VII. So this actually is before they make, because they still haven't produced the second Final Fantasy VII game yet.
Right.
We're waiting for the second part of the Final Fantasy VII remake because the remake only included like the first fourth or fifth of the Final Fantasy VII game because they're remaking the whole game from the ground up, not remastering, but remaking. And
Right.
so this is also going to be a remaster, not a remake of the prequel. So this will teach you sort of about the Cloud and his sort of buddy who was in the military with him. So if you want to know the full story, because Final Fantasy VII is one of the biggest sort of uh, it's one of the biggest series for Final Fantasy, one of the most influential. So this has a lot of side games, side projects, and prequels, sequels, stuff like that. It Check it out if you're interested in Final Fantasy VII. I know a lot of people are snobby about the remakes and the remasters, but this definitely looks really good because
Hmm.
they show you side by side footage of like the PSP gameplay to this one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the backstory alone for Final Fantasy VII itself is definitely already gonna be worth just playing it to get that backstory to head in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there is a lot of stuff that happens in the end and middle of a 7 remake that actually like seeing this will kind of help to put it in perspective because you're like, who's this character? And they just don't explain
It
that.
makes them
Welcome to
much bigger deals.
JRPGs.
Yeah,
Yeah. Welcome to a JRPG. Who's that? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
he must
Okay.
be he must be important. There's like 4 exclamation points right
Yeah.
there. So yeah, he must be. Don't know why, but that's about it. Anyway, moving forward.
And then last here on the list that I just want to highlight is Neon White. Just the fact that it's finally coming to PlayStation. I know that this is a big indie game, and honestly, it looks really fun. And I reckon you were looking for games to play the one time, and this is a game that I recommended for you to check out, Roger, on your Twitter. You were like, "What should I play
Mhm.
next?" This is one of the first ones I recommended
Yeah,
to
and
you.
I was like, man, this I was really thinking about it, but it looks almost like another Metal Hellsinger to me, and that's the biggest problem. I'm not looking for like a rhythm-based game again. I just want to be able to shoot stuff indiscriminately.
Well, this one
Like,
has like an
Yeah.
interesting, like you're playing with like a card system, and then like
yeah,
it almost looks like a Mirror's Edge kind of game too. I don't
yeah.
like, I don't know. It looks really cool. I definitely want to check it out for sure. But any other games you guys want to cover on this list here?
Honestly, it's quite a quiet week, but Blacktail, looking at it again, I'm gonna wait to see how it reviews, but this may be a game that I pick up for me and Disney to play.
Okay, yeah. This I mean, it could be a hidden gem. Who knows? We'll have to
It
wait and see.
really could be. It looks really good, but it is
It's
rated
got the
T for teens,
makings.
so I'm wondering how it got away with a T rating while also being supposedly, a kind of violent game potentially.
Yeah.
Implied violence.
I abhor violence, sir.
But moving on to our industry news of the week, nothing too much, just two main topics here, really just one company really involved here. First off, I'm gonna start off with covering Microsoft's ZeniMax Studio. They saw 300 Q&A workers unionize, and they became the biggest union in the North American video game industry, and that's awesome to see. Honestly, with everything that's going on, it's always good to have that protection and whatnot to fight for you. Obviously, with the whole issues with Activision Blizzard not being unionized, and they're trying to, but they're getting pushed back against it. So it's pretty cool to see that. But in regards to Microsoft, they did make a 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to all Nintendo products and keep it on Steam as well. So this is just like a prearranged agreement. If the deal does go through, we are going to honor this. But Roger, what's going on with the Activision Blizzard deal?
So we just finally hit the big show-stopping moment of the Activision Blizzard saga, if you will. So they get backing from a major tech union, the CWA, but at the same time they're getting this new backing with people who are kind of siding with them. They're also finding the FTC has decided to file a lawsuit blocking the acquisition, saying that they are going to become a monopoly in doing this. And so they're trying to stop them. Now, Activision and Blizzard aren't really afraid from the tweets and the sort of press releases from the people heading this acquisition. They're like, we're not afraid. So honestly, we're probably not going to see much come out of this. The FTC is going to try to fight it, but they're probably going to lose.
Yeah, at this point, like, there's no. I don't think they have a significant amount of evidence to prove that if this deal goes through, that it's not going to be healthy for the game industry.
The thing is, it's just the first step of many, and that's what we have to be worried about is the fact that if they do this, when do we say enough is enough is the problem I think we're encountering right now is the more we allow people to continue to buy these studios and move forward and grow, when do we say, okay, now that's enough? And that becomes a problem because now we're looking at, well, if, for example, they purchase they make this acquisition and more acquisitions, we have to put our foot down at some point because monopolies are going to become a problem. We live in a world of monopolies at this point. We just don't call it that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely fair. So we'll definitely continue to cover this as much as we can, and it's definitely going to start to heat up a little bit more now with the FTC
Yeah.
getting involved. And obviously, the UK is not done with their investigation yet. They still have a couple more months for that decision. But let's move into our gaming news. Not too much going on here this week. But first off, I did want to cover Two Point Campus did get their Space Academy DLC. So people were wondering, hey, where did I guess some of the in-game stuff come from because it has like this space type features, and then they were like, well, here's a DLC that's going to basically explain where all of this technology and enemies came from. So it's pretty cool to tie all of that in. I have never played a Two Point Campus, the Two Point
Well, a
Campus
two
game.
point
Yeah, I
period.
played the hospital one before, but I have not played the campus one yet. And I
Have
do
you
know.
played either, Scott?
Sorry, the dog was barking in the background, so I had to mute the
You're
mic.
good.
I have not.
Okay.
Are you guys a fan of the whole simulation sort of Sim City style games?
It can be fun at times.
Yeah, it's not something that I go for every single time. But if if the right one comes along and I'm playing and I like it, it's something it's fun to enjoy on
Um,
the occasion.
yeah, the only reason I kind of bring note to this is I think we kind of want to keep a watch on 2 Point because this is going to be one of the big ones that joins in the industry. Especially kind of shaking it up at this point. They're one of the big ones. They're actually doing really well. They're reviewing well. They're playing well. So I think, keep an eye on them
Right.
because these guys are going to kind of set the pace for the simulation genre, I think, at this point.
I mean, it was in running for best
Game of the year.
simulation game. So,
Exactly.
because it was up there with all those other heavy hitters that I know that you play, for sure. But moving on to
Yeah.
our next topic here, Call of Duty. They recently announced their Season 1 Reloaded roadmap, basically. This will be arriving this week, actually, on the 14th. And along with it, Double XP and Double Weapon XP will be active during the launch weekend. New operators will both be available for Gaz and Klaus. The new weapon, Chimera. Appreciate you, Yuri Dubs. Enjoy your practice with Overwatch. The Chimera is basically the
Chimera.
reincarnation of the Honey Badger from Call of Duty Ghost. So I'm really looking forward to using this gun because that gun was lovely in that game. You can get this gun via a challenge or a bundle, and the challenge is probably going to be related to DMZ. My guess, hopefully a lot easier than killing the chemist because I still have yet to get the M13B, and I still want to get it. And all I gotta do is hop in with one of my
Honestly,
friends who has it.
honestly, I would be fine just doing it normally, but the problem is that mode just it kicks you out randomly and then it's like, well, you lose everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, I don't want to even do this anymore. So until
yeah.
that game becomes really stable, I don't know, man, it's
It's
tough.
kind of a shitty experience.
Yeah.
I've only played DMZ just to get the M13. That's exactly what I did. Is I dropped in with a buddy. We found guns. He dropped his, and we just booked it. We just booked it for exfil, and then I
That's
never
what
went back.
everyone's doing. Like everyone's just taking the gun, dropping it, and they're like, "Okay, you got it." And it's like one
Yeah.
person in the world has it, and then everyone gets it. It's like AIDS, I guess. It's like the
It's,
STD of gaming. Uh,
it basically, but you have to because DMZ has been so unstable. It's fun, but it's a big but. It has all these
yeah,
issues, and like
yeah. Like,
it's not worth
and
the time or the stress.
all it takes is
Uh,
one moment of another team to fuck you up, and you've lost everything you
and it's
spent the
gone.
last hour. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was playing with Vic and our friend Ben, and it just like we dropped in, we played, and all of a sudden we're getting ready to exfil, and these guys are like start shooting his vehicle as it goes by, and I was like, please stop, no, and then they just jumped out
Please,
and they killed us all, and I was like,
please leave
great.
us alone. Yeah, nothing more humbling than having to beg in Proc's chat to be allowed
Please,
to.
no. And they're
I
just
think
like,
it
you
adds.
deserve this.
I think it adds an extra layer of
Fun.
kind of excitement a little bit. Maybe not necessarily fun for everybody. I'm sure it's fun for the guys that rolled up on you.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were having a blast. But I think that adds that pressure. Um, helps with the immersion of the game, I guess, is what I
Mhm.
is what I would kind of say with that. Because I personally I love like those high pressure scenarios, even if I get pissed off. And want to slam my mouse and keyboard and all that good stuff, but it's still part of that pressure being applied to you while you're playing it. I still think is part of the reason that it will be fun if they can fix those stuff. If they can fix that stuff.
Yeah, DMZ definitely needs to be fixed, but they are adding a new social feature called groups, so this will be able to you can find and create communities. So they kind of already had this feature in there, but I guess it's being like modified and repurposed, and I guess so that'll be pretty cool. They are updating the combat record to display more stats, but and also include your Warzone stats. But interesting enough here, all of your stats up until the 14th will not be counted. So all those grindy, sweaty people who have been getting all those dubs and kills, they won't be counted in any of your stats.
Mother fucking
Yeah.
you sons of bitches.
Yeah, so they dropped the ball on that
Oh, you
one.
bastards. Yeah, kinda. Cause I think I'm at like I think I finally hit 10 Warzone wins. Like just this past week at some point. Like a couple of them were solo, a couple of them were in groups, and it's just nice to have that. But apparently fuck us.
Yeah.
And I'll just have to go get more.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
that is. But in regards to Modern Warfare 2, Spec Ops is finally getting raids, which I know that me and Roger are really excited to check out. Because it's just something different that Call of Duty is going to implement. And what we need to do though is play the Spec Ops missions more, because we're going to have to grind up those tier kits. So when we go into the raids, we're already ranked up high enough. So that's something we got to work
Yeah.
on.
I think
Um,
raids is gonna be great. I think that's gonna be an excellent feature when it adds, and I'm kind of pumped for that as well. Getting in and doing some raids, but like you said, gotta hit that grind.
Yeah,
Um,
and the fact that this continues like the story from the campaign as well, like that's what the purpose of these raids are right now. And my guess is that it's going to lead into the DLC expansion, COD 2023 premium experience, whatever they want to call it.
Whatever they're re-releasing.
Yeah, whatever they're coming out in 2023, it's going to lead up to that. I think that's the whole idea behind it, so that's pretty cool. But to be able to participate in a raid, you do have to complete one of the following. You have to complete a daily challenge in either multiplayer or Spec Ops that has a specific challenge in regards to getting the key, or place within the top 20 in any Warzone Battle Royale playlist, or in DMZ use the final extract helicopter with at least 30,000 in cash. And to be honest, that's a lot of fucking money. In
that yeah,
DMZ. That
yeah,
might be
that's
the hardest route to go.
We had $30,000, and then we got rolled up on.
and
Thanks,
then
Vic.
you got rolled
Yeah.
over. Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe that'd be cool if there's some kind of tracker for which ones you've done. I think that I mean I'm gonna say getting the hell out of DMZ with 30K.
But
That's
like the Warzone
that's
2
like that's
Battle
got to be
Royale isn't
something.
bad. That's
Yeah.
It's got to
easy.
be something that like you hold. Be like, yeah, oh, how'd you do it? You camped in Warzone until you were number 19. Awesome, that's great. Cool, good for you. What'd you? Oh, you did a daily challenge. You threw a frag grenade, or you stuck somebody with Semtex. Excellent. What'd you do? Oh, I exfiled with $30,000 cash in DMC.
You did it the hard way.
That is 100% salty spittoon energy. Right there.
But one interesting though in regards to this though is only one person has to have the key to complete this challenge. So like, say I go in there and I grind out and I get the key, and I'm like, hey guys, you want to come in and do this raid with me? You guys can just join in and do it. I have the key already. So that's awesome.
Which is
Not all
great.
of us
Yeah,
needs to do it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
maybe
think that's gonna make it hard
Now,
hard to
what's the
hard to access,
reward
but a
though?
little more.
yeah.
Now, is the key a one-time use?
I think you get it for you unlock the raid for the entire week. So after the week is up, or whatever the time limit, however it breaks
Yeah.
it down, then it locks it back up. Then you have to complete another challenge.
And then
Your
what
stats
is
back.
the
That's
reward for doing the raid?
They
you get your
haven't-
stats back.
Yeah, they have not
Your
specified.
stats back.
They're kind of guess try to keep that stuff hush hush right now. That'll be something
That
for
makes
people
sense.
to discover once they
Yeah.
complete the raid. Because if it's anything like Destiny, obviously at the end of Destiny you got this like big powerful like item or equipment and stuff like that.
Maybe
Um,
you unlock a new gun.
yeah, or
That's it could
some
be like a
bundle.
blueprint where maybe they've added an extra piece or two, or they did. I mean, especially now with pro tuning
Mhm.
that they've been working on. I mean, you're gonna win a laser at that point. You're gonna win a laser beam. And
Yeah.
it's just good. You're gonna take it into Warzone and you're gonna kill everybody. And then you'll finally be able to exfil.
Yeah, with 30,000.
With $30,000, that'll be
Like,
great.
yes, I no longer need to do it, but I can do it now, guys. I'm saving up those raid keys for the raid episode 2. But in regards to multiplayer, though, the new map or old map turned new shipment is returning. Yay! Not really excited for that one.
for,
It's just
for all of
camo
your
grinders.
crackheaded ADHD friends
Yeah,
that is just just run and shoot. It's gonna be crazy.
yeah. I'm not
Oh,
looking
man.
forward to shipment. I've always hated
Yeah.
shipment, and not looking
Oh,
forward to
dude, I
playing
hate shit.
It-
Shoot house right now is literally shit house. All right, I'll be
Yes.
honest with you. I don't need another shoot house.
Right. Well,
Oh
they're
my
going to have
God.
the playlist that's returning from Modern Warfare
Yeah,
2019. Where
exactly.
Shoot the Ship is what it's called. Shoot the
Yep.
Ship. So I'm not looking
Which
forward to that
I
those
mean, I
playlist.
people
spent a
can
lot
go
of
play
time.
that on their own.
I spent a lot of time in Shoot the Ship. Yeah, it was fun, and with the shipment and then hardcore mode finally coming back, I can't wait to never ever take more than 3 steps. It's gonna be
Three.
fantastic.
You're not even like
Three.
I'm
You actually
stretching,
made
I'm
it past
stretching.
the spawn.
I serpentine a lot. I've
Oh,
gotten
okay.
really good at just spawning and running, just running the hell away.
But one interesting though, they are doing like a holiday themed shipment from December 21st through January 4th, so you get to experience that. I remember they started that stuff kind of stuff back in COD 4 with Crash when they did the holiday Crash. So that was always fun and pretty cool to see. But why Shipment? Can't you just choose like one of the newer maps and make it festive? Like,
Anything but, please.
yeah, like
Just,
I'm not
just
even going to be able to see it because I don't even want to play on Shipment.
bring Rust back and then put a sleigh on top of
Put
the
Santa
rig or
Claus
something.
up there. Yeah,
Like you
A
just
Christmas tree up top.
yeah, like have a yeah, like
Merry
yeah.
Christmas.
I'm a sucker for holiday shit though. I just want to say this. Any
Yeah,
game that does any sort of holiday events, anything like, I'm such a sucker
for
for
like
that shit.
two
I love
days
it.
they throw some
2 days.
stuff and you're like, fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
I loved and I know that this is an unpopular opinion, hot take. I was fine with Caldera. Um I miss Verdansk, but like the Krampus, like
Oh,
the Christmas trees,
Krampus
that
was
shit
great.
was so fun. I loved it. And then same thing with like when they did like the zombies in Verdansk,
That
like
was
that
lit.
was oh
I
man,
love
that
that.
was like peak Verdansk. I loved it. That was so awesome.
Yeah,
And I hope that they kind of bring something holiday related just outside of shipment a little bit. So
yeah, we'll
maybe
see.
somebody can
Definitely
enjoy it
super
for more
fun.
than 13 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, talking about events in games, what's happening in Warzone 2?
They're outing a new area point of interest, which is interesting to have one so early, and it's called Building 21. And basically, you got to find these keys because everything that they gave us was redacted information. So it's a restricted building that you have to get a certain amount of keys to get into, and they're not saying what's in this building. So that'll be interesting to see. Warzone Cup is also coming. This is like a new mode. It's basically Rocket League, which we kind of already covered this before, but it's official now. Rocket League is coming to Call of Duty. So have fun with your four wheelers, your beep
Dude,
beep.
they've got everything.
It's
Like
gonna
they've
be fun.
literally got everything.
I'm
They
They
actually gonna
are.
play this.
got,
I'll play this on shipment. It's like, but no. All jokes aside, last but not least, they're adding a mini royale limited time mode. So it's basically on the big Al Mazrah map, but just in smaller parts of the map. So the rest of the map will be closed off automatically.
which sounds awesome.
Yeah. So it's
Well, yeah, the mini royale is that's super fun. Until they bring us something that kind of resembles Rebirth,
right.
we need something a little bit more high speed. Uh, and mini royale is always fun when you do that stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that because I definitely miss playing that kind of the smaller maps. But moving on from COD, CD Project Red had some news this week in regards to their IPs. What's going on with it,
Yeah.
Robbie?
So CD Projekt Red Spoko Studio announced their Pokemon Style Go game, that sort of geolocation game for phones. The Witcher Monster Slayer is actually ending in 2023. So they are cutting development and also the servers for their Witcher Monster Slayer game.
I didn't even know it
Also,
existed, to be honest with you.
yeah, it's one of those. It's honestly, geolocation games are a dime a dozen, and there's only one real geolocation game. Everything else is just a cash grab scheme.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
and
mean,
they ever since Pokemon Go came out and they did a lot of stuff. And I hope you're talking about Pokemon Go. Uh, but I mean, same thing with Harry Potter, like all this good stuff. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah,
Um, what was it was like the original geolocation. I had it on my Droid Mini. It came with the phone.
um,
And it was Niantic before they did Pokemon Go. Does anybody remember that?
I do remember it.
I
'Cause
remember
What was the
hearing
name of
of it.
that?
Uh, so the original here, let's see here. Urban Gaming Club was the first one to make one, and they made it looks like Penn
geocaching
State
was it geocaching? I know that was a big
might have been.
one that I know Aunt Laura used to play. That was one of the original ones. Like you actually would go around and find physical objects in the real world, and they were like
Yeah.
rocks and shit.
Yeah, it was the treasure hunting game. That's right.
Yeah, geocaching was the one that I remember before Pokemon Go.
Oh, this was. Oh man, I played it for a little bit, and because Pokemon, because it was kind of like the predecessor to Pokemon Go. It used the same thing, and it had like gates and like points of interest, and that's where things would happen. Man, I can't remember the name of it.
Ingress?
Ingress, yeah, Ingress.
Yeah, Ingress was
Ingress.
great.
That one, yeah, that shit was.
Yes, from 2013. It was called
Yes.
Ingress.
Yeah,
Yep.
that laid
What
the
is
foundation
this?
for Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. It was the
I
exact
do remember that
foundation,
now.
everything like that. Yeah.
And they advertised it as an exercise game.
Imagine. Then they just attach the title
Imagine.
Pokemon to it, and then
And they're
boom.
like, $20
Oh, they did.
bills.
They absolutely they printed money when they threw Pokemon Go on that.
Yeah.
They
The
absolutely
original, the original, the original Bitcoin there. Just
Um, let's
all right.
let's move it on here, especially if we want to do a
Some bad
game
news.
show
Yeah,
the Game Awards
some
recap.
bad news from CD Projekt Red then is Cyberpunk 2077 has canceled the multiplayer mode. It is no longer going to be a thing. It was due to the terrible launch, and they decided to switch priority and move all the developers working on multiplayer to the first person single player story mode team and had them start working to fix and adding features to the main game instead of multiplayer. So we are going to lose that big feature we were hoping to get is that Night City GTA style cyberpunk version.
Yeah, I'm sad. I was looking
yeah,
forward to
big
doing something
big
like that.
loss.
I
Big
am
loss.
beyond sad, dude.
I think that there's sure single player needs help, like all that good stuff, but like this could have been your complete saving grace.
Could have.
Hmm.
Maybe, but
Definitely
maybe,
could have
maybe
been.
they're saving it for the sequel that's supposed to be coming out in the future.
Could, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
If yeah, big if true, but I mean big if there.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
Exactly.
but it makes sense because then it'll be strictly next gen. It won't have to worry about Xbox One, PS4
yeah,
holding it back and stuff like that. Like Phantom Liberty dropped both old gen as well, so that'll be interesting to see. But moving on here to Nintendo news. What's going on?
Mario Kart 8. So last week we know we had the third DLC wave of courses added to the game. In addition to this update, we also have the free update that allows you to pick what items will be in the races.
That's
You
pretty
can now
dope.
choose your items that you want in the race. If you don't want bananas, they don't exist.
only blue shells. Let's
Only
go.
blue shells.
I've
Yeah, that was
seen people.
literally as I'm reading this out loud for everyone. I was like, blue shells only.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Blue
Drinking
So
item
shells.
to
I've
place.
already seen
Yes, sir.
gameplay of it, and people did that already. It was blue
Oh
shells
man.
only, and that shit was mayhem.
And everyone's like 5 feet dead, 5 feet dead, 5 feet
It
dead.
becomes the longest Mario Kart race of all time.
Yeah,
Alright.
like
And then, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just gonna be absolute chaos. Like you're not, nobody's gonna know who's first until you finally finish that game. It's gonna
Right.
be absolute
Just because
chaos.
you're in first most of the game does not mean anything else.
Mm.
And then lastly here from PlayStation, we've got one small bit of news. God of War Ragnarok decided to add an extensive photo mode to the game. Something that was kind of missing from the original edition of God of War Ragnarok. You now can take high-res photos, better photos. You know, it's a more involved, in-depth way of just kind of capturing your experience within the North.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I hate when games don't have photo mode. I'm a fan of taking screenshots all the time, but having a specific photo mode for a game helps taking those screenshots so much better because they add filters, or you can move the character. You can have the character in different poses, all kind of stuff like that. So it's pretty cool
Shout
to
out to
see it go.
Pokemon Snap,
Right.
Yeah,
The
right.
OG photo mode.
the OG photo mode. Love it.
But last but not least, in regards to our gaming news, Xbox, of course, got to cover them a little bit. Starting in 2023, all of their first-party games will get a price hike up to $70, which is in line with the rest of the industry.
Yeah. They're like, look at us. We don't raise prices. Okay, 2023 is here. Raise prices.
Yep, it makes sense.
They waited and they were like, look at us, guys.
Right.
Raise the
Well, I
prices
think it's
now.
they found out that that's not a selling point anymore. No pun intended.
Yeah,
You know, being
Yeah.
$10 cheaper doesn't matter anymore.
yeah, especially
no-
for Xbox because they know that most people who have an Xbox are going to have
Are
Game
getting
Pass.
Game Pass.
So they don't even care about. They're not really making money from sales at all to begin with. So now, like, they're just going to get their money right from Game Pass. But
Mhm.
speaking about Game Pass, you did get some interesting perks. Obviously, they announced back in June their conference Xbox Game Showcase that Riot games were coming to Game Pass, but the perks are finally here. So coming on the 12th, starting tomorrow, League of Legends Wild Rift, Valorant, Legends of Runeterra, and Teamfight Tactics. You basically unlock all champions or agents, or the Foundation set is unlocked for Legends of Runeterra, and only a select little legends are unlocked in Teamfight Tactics. So that's curious to see, but that's awesome. I guess now I don't have to grind out and get the new one for Valorant.
Every time it launches, you just
Yeah,
play with it.
yeah, I automatically get it now, so that's awesome.
I
But
wonder how much they got paid for this.
right, maybe we'll see those numbers in the future. But last up, your perks. I just wanted to highlight this one just because I'm big on mental health. You do get 3 months of Calm, which is an app that you can help out for meditation and just being able to sleep or just clearing your mind and stuff like that. So you do get 3 months. I've used this app before when it first was a thing. Did the trials and whatnot, and it definitely helps out big time. Especially when I did like a month of yoga or like just meditation in general, and this app was tremendous help. So definitely go use that as soon as possible. But last up in Xbox news, this one was interesting because this is for the Master Chief Collection. And now this has Steam Workshop support. So basically, you're allowed to basically mod the game and do whatever you want. So who knows what you're about to see within Halo, but there's new modded multiplayer maps, new campaign missions, boss fights, firefight levels, new weapons, and much more. So I'm ready to see Master Chief fight
Stop shaking that
Thomas.
head.
I'm
Stop
ready.
shaking that head, Roger.
My
Dude, all I'm saying is, what
Thomas the
happened
Ticket.
to Halo Infinite when we've got fucking Master Chief Collection uncut?
Yeah.
Like this shit is gonna be so dumb. Like I'm already looking at like the store page for no, the community page for the Master Chief Collection, and people are like, "Oh, come out and play Halo 2 uncut," or "Oh, look at this Desert Hog, a racing game." The fuck is good?
I for one,
It's
I
unreal.
can't wait to play. Maybe Blood Gulch, the Snyder Cut. It's gonna be great.
The Snyder
It's,
Cut. Yeah, that's gonna
Oh, this
be
is unreal.
interesting. Hopefully we see Infinite get this kind of support too for the Steam modder support, workshop support, whatever
We've
the fuck
got,
it's called.
this
I
is
mean,
just so silly.
you can already basically build and do whatever you want in Infinite, so you might not get it. So it already has it built into it. So we'll see how
I
that
think
goes.
they gotta give us something.
Yeah.
Because when Infinite, I mean that was lackluster,
Well,
kinda. And
well,
I mean,
Forge came out and you could basically create and do
oh
whatever
yeah,
you
no,
want.
Forge was one of the biggest things they could have done to that game,
Yeah.
and
It
it was
just, it just nobody cares anymore because they missed their chance. A year after launch, they were like, "We have Forge now, guys," and we're
And
like, "Where was this?"
That's how I feel about the option to stop doing multiplayer on Cyberpunk. Like you've had your chance, like single player, like that's done. It's done.
yeah.
Like it's when you go past the last mission, you can't go back. Like what else are you gonna do? Get multiplayer, see if you can do that. That's kind
Yeah.
of how I feel about that.
And yeah,
Same
and
thing.
they missed the mark. I feel like there's
Yeah.
so much we miss. Like there, too many bugs. We just give up. It's like, but this was a thing we were promised for 8 years, and then we're looking at Halo Infinite. When do we just finally say you lose? You're off the project. We get somebody new back in here.
Right. And we talk about that all the time with Microsoft, like transitioning the developers behind Halo. Is 343? Is that it? Like that's the third strike. Four was garbage. Five was pretty garbage, and now Infinite was lackluster per se. Like the campaign, like the when the game first released, solid game. Multiplayer was fun. Campaign was solid. Just no co-op, which that was big in Halo.
Where do we go after this?
Right. There was no
We had
content. There
nothing.
was no content. There was no reason for me to stick around to play Halo.
Like I couldn't play with my friends, so I had to beat the campaign alone. Well, you're promising me like a continuation of the story. We're a year later, and I have heard no hide nor hair of any continuation of the story. Like you leave the story at this dead end drop, and you're just like, okay, we'll see you in 10 years.
Yeah. With Halo Infinite 2 or whatever
Yeah,
they decide to
is he
come
an
out.
What
Infinite
is
too?
Halo Infinite? It's supposed to be the
The
permanent
platform.
Halo game.
Yeah.
It's the platform.
Yeah.
Why haven't we heard about,
Steven,
the next installment of the story? Give me like a 5 hour mission. That's all I
Halo
need.
Infinitor.
Yeah.
That's what
Infinitor.
Infinitor.
More
More
Infinite.
infinite.
Yeah,
To
so,
infinity and beyond.
yeah, right. It's a crossover
with
that we didn't know we
exclusive
needed.
exclusive Beyond DLC.
Yeah,
It's another $35.
it's another 35. You know it's free, but free to play, but it's 35 to play this.
If you
But
want Beyond, that's give me.
yeah, but that's all of our gaming news. Let's touch on our gaming rumors. This one's real quick because this one kind of was head scratching here because this is a complete dumpster fire that's still getting content. Marvel's Avengers is apparently getting 4 final heroes after it is finally losing its support in 2023, which I don't know why it's still getting support the way it is. But the four characters are rumored to be She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, Shuri, and Ironheart, which, to be honest, three of these are really just reskins, because Hulk is already in the game, so you get She-Hulk, so that's just a different skin. Ironheart and Iron Man are basically the same character, reskin, and Shuri is Black Panther, which is already in the game, just a reskin, and then Captain Marvel is the only other one that's different, I guess. So I'm just like,
I
what the fuck?
I couldn't give less of a shit
Yeah,
uh, about these four heroes or Avengers, like the game, really.
yeah, it sucks
Yeah,
because this game was
it's
supposed to be what we were looking
Top.
for, and they dropped the
It
ball.
was supposed to be top, and
Yeah,
yeah,
mid doesn't even begin to describe this dumpster fire.
yeah,
and it's like they're throwing out heroes that they had, and they probably just didn't want to put out back when the 10 people that played it actually cared.
right. And the fact
Uh,
that you could have
Yeah.
released some of these characters around the same time their movies came out is really mind blowing, or shows, whatever it
yeah,
is.
yeah, and it's almost like they just don't want the development to go away. They don't want it to go to waste. Like, hey, we made these skins.
Yeah,
Like,
can we just put them out
just
there? Maybe
get
some
them out of
people will
here.
still play the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
I just can't wait. Like, they're gonna lose support and like watch one of these characters just be buggy as shit. And
Yeah.
interesting enough,
they
we
don't have any
just
support anymore.
returning
It'll be Captain Marvel.
returning back to Cyberpunk. Just had some breaking news here from IGN. Cyberpunk 2077 will receive a Game of the Year edition once its Phantom Liberty expansion is released in 2023. So
Why will we get a Game of the Year edition?
it never
What
won
Game of the
Game of
Year?
the
What year?
What year? Oh, they're looking to catch it next year's Game of the Year. Is
Right,
that it?
yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
Phantom Liberty drop. Let's get some Game of the Year content.
So that'll be interesting. But speaking about Game of the Year, let's recap the Game Awards. Some of the games that we saw, there was a lot of shit at this show for 3 hours, including a head scratcher of an ending with the little kid talking about his Orthodox rabbi
Well, that
Bill Clinton.
that was just some dude just showed up and was like,
The memes have been great.
like honestly, I'm really sad that Flute Guy got overshadowed by by that kid. Like everyone's like, "Don't let Flute Guy die."
Yeah.
We're like watching it, and everyone on the internet's like, "Yes, we agree with you, Roger Renvik."
Yeah, fucking the flute guy was awesome, dude. But let's kick it off here with basically the big
Well,
big
why don't
bomb.
you just pick what's interesting to you?
What's
What is
int-
the single coolest thing you saw there, Vic?
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. Fuck.
All right, I'll start.
go ahead.
I got this. Armored Core is getting a new game, baby. Let's go. I'm ready for a mech game, dude. Like after the flop which is Gundam this year, I'm ready for a real mech game. Like dude, just thinking about the game we played as kids, like just Slay.
Slay, yeah.
Just I need a
I
new
love that
game that is like Slay on crack. And that's what Armored Core is. And I am so excited for this game, dude.
Yeah.
Mech
So-
games are so fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Mech games are always
when
fun.
was the
Like,
last time we had a good mech game other than I guess Armored Core 5, whenever that was? I can't think of
yeah,
one.
like
When
yeah,
was
sorry, and it's
5?
Armored Core 6. Sorry, not 4, 6. Like, they've done such a good job because this is from software we're talking about here.
Armored Core 5 released in January 26th of 2012. So it's been 10 years.
11, if you count the
That's
fact
not-
that
Right.
it's coming out in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so that's going to be really exciting. But I guess like my highlight of the show had to been the gameplay reveal of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Obviously, just being a huge Star Wars fan and just how much I enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order was phenomenal. And you recently played through it, Roger, and I know, of course, Scott, you played it as well. And it's just a really great game, and I'm just really curious to see what the hell is going to happen in this game. And they still didn't show or even talk about
My
who the
man
fuck was in the
picked up
tank.
a stormtrooper and he's just like, "Here, shoot for me."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, cool. I'm
in."
in. I'm
Yo,
in."
I'm sold. I was immediately sold. Immediately.
Yeah, Scott, did you have a chance to watch any of the Game Awards at all?
So I watched a lot of highlights. It was really what I did. I think I'm kind of excited for Diablo 4.
Yeah, dude, that looks good.
I'm pretty pumped on that. And then of course Star Wars, as always. I mean, every chance I get to be a Force user, I'm gonna take. Uh, any time. So that looked awesome as well. But yeah, I that's really kind of what I did. We were discussing a little bit ago. I know, I mean, Elden Ring. That was kind of good. That was, but it's gonna be a shoe in
Yeah.
for winning. Just because I mean, From Software. I mean, they're great, and this was super hype.
And the
Um,
fact that they told us at Elden Ring's launch, yeah, we have two games that are already done. And that was the one we got, and I'm like, okay, like this felt like a new direction for
yeah.
the franchise of From Software, but like now they're like, oh yeah, we also had Armored Core done, but we're just gonna continue to work on it. It's
Holding
like,
off. Yeah, we're gonna let that. We're gonna
okay,
let that marinade.
we
We're
took
gonna.
last year's, we need to take next year's as well.
Yeah, exactly. We
Yeah,
gotta.
okay.
We have some armored core in the back, but it's not done simmering. Like
Yeah.
it's edible. You can have it, but like you
You
really
know,
you really
wait.
want to let it simmer for a little bit, maybe a couple months, and
Right.
then you can really enjoy
Let's
that
take
because
two,
we
you know.
we also feel like going back to back. So
Yeah. And we still might get Elden Ring like story DLC next year.
they
Yeah,
have the Gladiator DLC just came out,
Hmm.
and then I mean people still want to play the game. There
yeah.
people are still playing it, and I think that's one of the biggest things that we're talking about, right? Halo Infinite, the replayability, like things like that. You didn't really
Where is
have
it?
that
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
and then you get Elden Ring, where it's like, I mean, shit, I have 5 characters on that thing.
Yeah, I
I'm
played
just and
one
I'm just doing
character
so
for
much different
200
shit.
hours. Like,
I'm just yeah, and just I'm just doing so much different shit, and they're gonna end up doing some support there. They're gonna give us some story DLC, see what goes on. I think that's gonna be absolutely dope. Now, if they can take mechs and then put it in Elden Ring, that would be that would be your summon. You just summon a mech
I
from.
think we jumped the shark at that point.
But another one that kind of surprised me, I wasn't really expecting there. I haven't played the first one yet. Was seeing the announcement of Hades 2 was interesting to see. Have either of you guys played the first one?
No,
Um,
and I'm surprised. Like, I think that's gonna be one that really cinches a game award because I believe Hades won some awards. The original one, I think it won quite a few awards.
Yeah, if
I
I'm not
think
mistaken, wasn't
yeah,
it running for Game of the Year or one Game of the? When did Hades release? Let's see. 2018. So
20.
it
That's
could
what I
have
was
20.
gonna say.
it could have won Game of the Year. Um,
Uh,
the year 20. Let me see here.
it was nominated for best game direction, best
Oh, never
narrative,
mind.
best art
God of War
direction, best
won.
score, music, best performance, best indie, and best action.
Yeah.
Was it's nominated? Yeah.
That
Uh,
Yeah, how many like that and all I hear is good things about this game, so like I might want to pick this up right before
that
Hades 2.
yeah, and
So
and
best
get in and
everything
yeah,
So
Disney.
best everything. Just not Game of the Year. God of War won Game of the Year. You know.
Yeah. Well, they were up in a pretty stacked category.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure. But another one that was announced was the next game from the BioShock developers called Judas.
yeah.
Dude, that game
Yeah.
looked fucking solid. That it looked creepy. It
I'm
had
ready for us to fucking leave the whole rapture and all the things that are in there. I'm ready for a new story, but with the gameplay of BioShock.
right. I wonder if this is going to fit into the BioShock like world, given that we also have a BioShock movie or TV show right around the corner. And I'm surprised that they didn't try to do like a new BioShock, or maybe they could be remastering or remaking all of the originals and then
Well, I
having
thought
that.
we're already getting remakes or remasters.
Well, they're
They
already
already announced
remastered.
that.
Well, they already remastered them. So I'm wondering if we're going to get remakes because they have the
Maybe.
BioShock collection that has like all three games.
They just remastered it though. Really think they're gonna make a new one or rebuild the whole game? Probably not, I don't think. But
I mean, The Last of
maybe.
Us got it. They remastered and they remade. So we'll
the
see.
official description: a disintegrating ship, or a disintegrating starship, a desperate escape plan. You are the mysterious and troubled Judas. Your only hope for survival is to make or break alliances with your worst enemies. Will you work together to fix what you broke, or will you leave them burned? Yeah, that looks sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. And speaking of
Yeah, it looks sick.
The Last of Us Part One, it is coming to PC. They kind of showcased that release date, which
Mm.
is I can't remember the date. I'm looking it up here. But they also did talk about the other PlayStation exclusive Returnal is also coming to PC. That was the official announcement, so that'll be coming next year. PC release. Let's see
Yeah.
here. June 14th. Nope, never mind. That's when the game first came out.
All right, so we're coming close to the
March
wire
3rd.
here. Um, let's real quick to go over the games though that we had announcements for though. There were 37 different trailers during the Game Awards. We had 37 games that they brought out. That includes, Death Stranding 2. We had some Diablo 4 content. Street Fighter 6, we got the trailer for. Tekken 8, we saw Horizons getting a new DLC, Horizon Forbidden West. We've got Bayonetta just after Bayonetta 3. We are getting Bayonetta the prequel, Bayonetta Origins. We've got a Hellboy game coming out. We've got Crime Boss, a new
Dude,
Rocket City,
that
which
game looks
looks good.
fucking dope. Yo, that is like a
I'm really hoping.
star-studded cast. Like fucking Chuck Norris is gonna be in that game, dude. Like I
We
just
also got
don't get it.
uh, just so much stuff. Forspoken has a demo out now for the PlayStation. We've got Baldur's Gate 3 got its release date. Protocol will be released in North America because of Amazon Games. We've got Among Us has a new hide and seek game mode. Destiny 2 had the gameplay trailer for Lightfall instead of the cinematic trailer. Dune, the MMO, we finally saw an in-game engine trailer, not gameplay. Call of Duty, we saw the raids, which we already talked about. We've got Vampire Survivors already hitting mobile, which was an indie game that swept a bunch of places recently, but didn't
Yeah.
get really any awards for it. And then
Speaking
we've
about
got,
Vampire Survivors, I was playing it yesterday, and on the first stage or whatever, I like maxed
yeah,
out apparently where they send in like the Reaper of
Grim
Death.
Reaper, yeah.
Yeah, and like you can't invade him. Like he just sticks on you and follows you the whole way, and like you automatically die. And I was just
You
like,
can kill him. There are ways to kill him. I'm gonna just spoil that for you now. You can fight and kill that guy, but that's beside the point.
yeah. So I was just like, well, that's fucking bullshit. I was at to the point where I couldn't die. Period. Like I
Yeah.
was like level 65 or something like that, and like nothing on the map could kill me. And it was just like the map just completely went blank, and then it was just him, and he's on top of me, and you can't outrun him. And I was just like, well, this sucks.
hmm Oh, and last but not least, one of the things I thought we should mention is we got a new trailer for Suicide Squad.
Yes, sir.
Batman the Vampire.
Right.
That shit was funny.
But who
Have fame.
you see who's casting Batman though is what's
Yeah,
awesome though.
the last thing that he ever did voice work for before he passed. Quite fascinating that it's gonna be his piece. So let's hope that they do him justice in this.
No pun intended, right?
Yeah, no pun intended, actually. And then we also saw Space Marine 2 again, got another trailer for that with some in-game footage.
Dude, that looked great. That looked
It
fucking
looks so
solid.
good. It like the first one was good. I'm excited for this one.
How about Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty revealing that Idris Elba is coming on as a main character?
Idris Elba is so good, dude.
Yes, now you
He's
got Keanu
I,
Reeves
yeah.
and Idris Elba in the game like this. Like,
Yeah, that's
ooh,
gonna be nuts. Yeah, that's gonna be nutty. He's such a he. I love that guy as an actor.
like
He's fantastic.
we talk about it all the time, like with this DLC and how I normally don't go back to play DLC, but we were saying it. This
I'm
might
gonna
be when
play
I
this.
return. I'm gonna have
Yep.
to now with him returning.
Yep.
Like that was it. You just pushed me over the edge. I'm going.
Like, I'll
Absolutely.
be
Yeah. Yeah.
honest, CD Projekt Red is known for their DLCs being good full-length stories in engine. Like, it's not like they're just like, here's some cosmetics. No, they're like, here is a 12-hour, 15-hour
Here is
story. Have
here
fun.
is straight content. Have fun. Not to mention Idris Elba's sweet, sweet ear candy.
Sweet, sweet ear
Sweet,
candy.
sweet ear candy. Absolutely. No, I'm definitely coming back for that. Definitely coming back for that expansion.
How about that surprise head scratcher that you called Roger mid trailer?
Oh,
The
dude,
Transformers
fucking
reactive.
Transformers, dude.
Dude, I was like, what game is this? You were like, it's Transformers. I was like, there ain't no way this is Transformers. You were like, Transformers reactive. I was like, what?
And I was just like,
You wanted your
oh my
mech game,
God.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. Daylight and a
Right
dollar
here.
short.
They're gonna lose so fucking hard to
It's
Armored
gonna
Core
be
6.
so
But
bad.
couple other trailers.
It's gonna
That's
be
couple other
like,
trailers though, real quick, is the Lords of the Fallen trailer looked fucking fire, even though it was
yeah,
mainly cinematic with a little bit of gameplay here and there. But also that Remnant 2 trailer was really solid. I was like, what is this? And then Philip, for one of our community members here, was like, hey, that's Remnant. And I was just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I've never played the first one, but I
I
might
want to
have to
play
now.
it, and it's like a full co-op game. So like maybe we'll play that for a co-op day someday and
Yeah,
beat through that, and then we'll play Remnant 2 when it comes out.
yeah.
Hell
Football's
yeah.
about to be over. We can
Gonna have
return to
lots of
our.
time on
Yeah,
Sundays.
I'm gonna have more
Yeah.
time to play co-op games. It's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward.
Mhm.
Honestly, we have a long list of co-op games to get to. Obviously, we still want to check out Halo Infinite out of all that. But Replaced got a new trailer. That was a game that was supposed to come out this year that got delayed due to the Ukraine and Russia war. So that'll be right around the corner. Xbox Game Pass day one. So I'm really looking forward to that. But any more
And then we
games?
also got one last trailer for freaking the the sort of fairy tale builder game like the Valheim Challenger we've got coming out. I can't even remember what it's called
Oh
anymore.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm Challenger.
a
Yeah.
Challenger. It
Are you talking
honestly,
about
it could be. It could be really good.
Nightingale?
Thank you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nightingale.
Oh,
It
yeah,
looks
Nightingale.
so
Okay.
good.
yeah. I actually forgot
It
that. I
looks
didn't put
very
it on the
good.
list here, but yeah, that
So
game.
38 games we've got trailers for.
And honestly, there was probably more. That was were just some that I grabbed.
Yeah.
I don't even because I did try to write down most of the stuff that we had watched, and I don't think I got all of it.
Yeah, I didn't even think to write down what was going on at the Game Awards. I'm just like, we've got 5 hours. We're gonna be here. Let's just get through this.
Yeah,
It was crazy, dude.
yeah. I'm really looking forward to. Honestly, 2023 is going to be a huge game,
Oh, for
a year in
for game.
gaming. Honestly,
Fantastic.
but I think we got what one more episode before the end of the year. Yeah, next week will be
Yep.
our last episode of the year. So we'll kind of recap how the year went in our eyes and kind of give our predictions for the
What you're
next
telling me
year.
you don't want to have an episode on Christmas Day?
No, I won't even be here.
Neither
I'll be in
neither
South
do I.
Carolina. So
Okay, all right. Abandoning us for fun.
yeah,
Well,
that's it though. Honestly, but definitely want to thank all of our live audience today on Twitch and anyone who checks us out later on YouTube. But Roger, where can everybody find you at?
you can find me at the same place as always, Twitch and Twitter. I'm lunatic_oblivion on Twitch and lunatic oblivion on Twitter.
And Scott, where can people find you at?
If you happen to catch me on Twitch, just don't laugh at me too hard. Uh, but other than Twitch, you can find me on my Instagram, Scoby1. You can find me on Twitter, Scoby1, and Facebook, Scott Ruby.
I mean, if you're catching all these Warzone dubs, man, you might as well be streaming if you're doing
I, I,
something.
I gotta. At this point, it's just I'm camera shy, I guess.
Nah,
I
Aw,
have,
never
have
that.
to be.
he's on the
I
camera
would
right
have
now,
to
but
be.
he's so
But
shy.
I'm
Look at
talking
him
with you
covering his
guys.
face.
But I'm talking with you guys. Stop it. No, I just I feel like it's one of those things like if I did I would just like be exposed that I suck ass at this game.
Nah, I doubt
I'll
it.
just
Those dubs,
maybe the dubs will be there, but they're few and far between.
I mean, a 10% win rate is still 10%.
Hey, yeah, exactly. That's 10 games if you play 100. I mean, can't beat it. Yeah, I mean, I did get one during my lunch break last week, but
Well, that's good.
so-
That's solid. But yeah, Scott, we definitely appreciate you for coming on the show
hey,
again.
thanks for having me.
Hopefully, we can get you on either next week or the returning episode of 2023. So definitely look forward to that. But of course, everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _ Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. Want a party game? Hit me up there. Facebook Vic Brubacher. Questions, concerns? You want to come on a show? Make sure you hit me up on there. And of course, I'm streaming over on my Twitch at Mr. Never Chillin. Right now, I'm going to be finishing up Somerville, and then I'm going to figure out what my next game is going to be. I definitely got a long list of games. Probably be High on Life, honestly. But definitely want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.
Out of here.